Well, thank you, Senator Brewer. Appreciate you doing that. I'm going to offer anyone from the House or Senate who's here that if you want to address, do you want to make any comments?
I'd like to make just a couple.
Okay, and I offered it back. He deferred, but he made. It's an open invitation. And then we're going to close it. Congressman Wilson. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Rich. I just want to correct something that, or clear up something that you said. It was not only the Democrats that wanted to do away with the DOA, to put off the DOA. It was the government. She, at the last minute, came in after we voted to do away with the Budget Control Board. And it's on record, Senator Palmer, and you know it. She sent a lobbyist in there and lobbied us to not do it because she had cut a deal with Senator Levin. Now, truth's the truth, and that's where it lies. And that's why we had a big problem on the floor with the Department of Administration. And thank goodness we did, because on August 25th, y'all gonna find out that she wrote a letter to the Chief of SLED, which is not a cabinet position. It's designed for a 6-year contract for the sole purpose of making sure that SLED and the Department of Public Safety is not controlled by the Senate or the governor's office. Because of the dangers of getting someone in there that controls the Senate, controls SLED or the Highway Patrol. And she put in there that they had to get permission from her chief of staff, Tim Pearson. You will see it in the Chronicle this week. The letter and everything that she signed. And to have, basically putting Tim Pearson in charge of SLED for grants going to small counties and towns, and including Lexington County town, where we just approved a bunch of grants to the Public Safety Coordinating Council. They couldn't administer any of them, couldn't receive any from Washington. They couldn't do anything without the permission of her chief of staff, Tim Pearson. And she signed that letter and sent it to them. Copy of the letter is available. It's in the journal today. It'll be in the journal tomorrow. If you want to look it up online. Now that's overstepping boundaries, and she also included the Budget Control Board, which our treasurer is sitting here with us today, that sits on the Budget Control Board, that there was certain provision in there that they had to get permission from the Budget Control Board to do. Now, that's the reason SLED needs to be a standalone agency and independent in the Highway Patrol. Just think what could happen if you got the wrong person utilizing SLED in an election year, running around ordering them to stop people, like they did in the olden days, Senator Wilson. They stopped people that had a big vote coming up in the Senate or the House. They stopped people on the way, senators on the way, to keep them detained. That's why you have the law there that says you cannot stop a senator or a House member and detain them while they're to and from the State House, which is controversial all the time because they do it, but they don't do it like they did the old days. But a lot of these things that we've done, the immigration bill, we got emails from everybody on the immigration bill. Everybody wants the immigration. I'm doing another bill. I'm the one that put the amendment in there to set up a law enforcement agency to investigate and check out and go like a narcotics squad. Okay? And it passed. And, but it came from the House, Representative Bailey, it came from the House with no severability clause. So guess what? We had to put one in it. Because if you strike down any portion of it without a severability clause, you've got to do away with the whole bill. The severability clause says if you strike down this portion, the rest of it stands. Things like that, it comes over to the House, and I guess passing these bills one a week was in a hurry, and sort of things like that got overlooked in the House. But we in the Senate have to clean up things like that. And we appreciate the hard work that the House did, but whenever we get all these emails and they're thrown in our lap, we have to clean it up. And that's what we did. And we've had a lot of progress in the Senate and the House as a combination of effort of both bodies. And both sides do a good job. And, you know, and I want to say one other thing. On this ethics deal with me, I got a clean bill of health from the ethics. Got a letter from them saying every piece of money was accounted for and none of it was missing. And I did something that most senators, probably our House members, even one couldn't do. I went to the bank and got every transaction that went into that account from the day I opened it to the day that we had the hearing. And it was sealed with a piece of tape, a security tape. And I took it to the ethics and said, check it out. If I've done anything wrong, charge me with it. They found no money was missing. All of it was accounted for. And guess what? The things they hit me on was receiving too much money from a man and his wife that come to my campaign fundraiser. Like you and your wife come and you both got the same check. Both names on the same check. And you write me a check and one of you sign it and you say this is for $2,000 and it's $1,000 from my wife and $1,000 from me. Good luck. And I reported it like that. $1,000 from the wife and $1,000 from the man. And then they hit me for receiving too much money in one check and reporting it wrong. I had to go back and correct those type errors. If a law firm or a company or something like that was owned by 3 or 4 people and they wrote a check for $1,500, $500 a piece, I had to go back and return $500. I returned every penny of that. Every penny of it. And I also went on a mission to correct some of the ethics problems. When I went before the committee, they checked out everything and found out that the caucus, the South Carolina Republican Senate caucus, gave me too much money. And I sent that money to the Children's Trust Fund. And I also found out that they had given more senators too much money. And one senator didn't have enough money to pay it back, like I did. And guess what? They advanced him this year's contribution so he could pay it back. And it went to the South Carolina Children's Trust Fund. And guess what? It was reported as a contribution. I said, oh no. It's going to be reported as too much contribution given by the South Carolina Senate Republican caucus. And it's going to the trust fund. And the Children's Trust Fund got it from the senators, and I say senators, they got too much money from the caucus. I didn't push for them to be charged on ethics violation. That was an oversight. And both chairmen, former chairman and present chairman, was sitting on the committee that I went before. And it was a full committee. Believe me, if there had been anything I had done wrong, except that type of bookkeeping, they would have chopped me up. And I'm going to tell you something. This old boy here is as honest as the day is long. And I ain't worried about nobody going against my reputation. And I'm sorry that happened, but I'm not the only one up there that's done that. There's a lot of things that they found was going on like that. And I just happened to be the one that was stupid enough, but proud enough to go down myself because I had a CD that I took out 5 years previous that had a 5.75% interest rate on it in an economy that was 2.5% interest rate. And I went to the ethics and said, listen, I've got my CD come due, and I worked it out with the bank. I paid off all my bills, and I got this much interest that I need to report. How do I do it? It's over $1,000. In fact, it was right at $18,000. That's $18,000 of interest that I got off of a CD 5 years before when they couldn't understand why I was coming in to do that. Why? Because I was honest. And I'm going to tell you something. You want to check out something about ethics, go over to the House. Check out the leadership packs. Check out the leadership packs. The chairman of those committees over there, you think transparency is on the floor? Transparency is not on the vote on the floor. It's in the committee, people. That voting board up there has already got the decision made when it comes up. I was in the House. When you get a letter from a chairman of a committee in the House that you got to go before maybe, it's sort of like holding a gun to your head without knowing it. Because you got to do business with those committees, and you either got to make a choice then whether to contribute or not contribute. And I got a bill in the Senate passed this year as a rule change because we can't pass a law. We sent it over there 4 years in a row to the House, and they don't do a thing with it. They turn it right into a committee and vote. They're not going to do away with the leadership tax. They're not, because some of them got $1 million in those tax, y'all, and they distribute it to their committee members in campaign contributions. Go on the website and look at it. Well, my bill in the Senate changed the rules with 2/3 majority voting, and not really 2/3 of the entire Senate voted to change the rules a month ago. That in the Senate there will be no leadership tax. Never has been, and now to me, because of the rule change, won't be. If any of y'all got any questions about asking me about my ethics, I stand free to talk to you at any time. Don't ask a question that you don't want the answer to, because I ain't gonna lie to you. There's something my wife don't ask me because she don't want to know the truth. Now, any questions? Thank you.